What's up, Playboy? Rev, the good news is I started crawling out of my deep, dark depression today. I made like 4 phone calls. After this, I'm going down to pick up like 10,000 in checks, which I need desperately. Hi, Ari Sanders. Hi, Alfred. Hi, Paul Greenwell. I remember when Paul Greenwell had a small green bell. Okay, I made that up. I get in these things. Well, I can't do nothing. Today I got up, I did payroll, finished my invoicing. I bought a new belt, so that's pretty exciting. Got a new belt. I changed my underwear. Hi, Bronx girl. Took a poop. Now, I took pictures of the poop for later. If you're a subscriber to the channel, don't you worry. There's a special button you can hit, and we're going to talk for a half hour about my poop. David Young's going to be a special guest on the show. All right, I'm being stupid. I have to be at Dream Downtown, which is on 16th Street, 8th Avenue, 9th, in between 8th and 9th. Gotta be there at 4:30. Looking at my dope, amazing watch. Where am I at here? I ain't got time to dilly-dally. So let's get on with the show. I want to thank everybody who called yesterday. We had a horrific accident here in New York. Let's see if it's in here. It was on the front page of the Daily News, but I really hate the Daily News. Right here. This crane. A giant crane. Caught on fire and fell and smashed a window. Nobody died. Right by my house. So for everybody who called and said, Bob, are you okay? I want to thank you. For you selfish sons of bitches who didn't call. Tammany didn't call me. Colleen didn't call. I could have been killed by a crane. You sons of bitches didn't call. I can't even believe it. DJ's reviews under 2s, he didn't call. I could have been crushed by a crane. I know a lot of you who didn't call contributed to my GoFundMe. I started a GoFundMe. It says, I almost got hit by the crane. I was 2 blocks away asleep, but I could have been awake going to get the paper, and who knows what would have happened. That's the name of my title for my GoFundMe. So, I started a GoFundMe because I could have, if I was awake, and I would have just been 980 feet down the street that way, I could have been killed. All right, I'm being stupid. Let's get on with the show. Ooh, Hunter Biden. Ooh, I'm backwards. Why didn't no one tell me I'm backwards? Rev, you call yourself a man. Sunburn. Oh, at this point, I just want him to already arrest him and put him in prison. So he got a sweetheart deal. If you watch Fox, he got a sweetheart deal. He got caught. He didn't get caught. He had videos where he had an unlicensed, he had a firearm where he wasn't supposed to have it for whatever, because of his drug convictions or whatever. He's not getting arrested for all this, this money laundering in China or wherever it is. He got convicted, pled guilty to a gun charge. The GOP lost their mind. I thought they would be happy that someone had a gun. I guess according to the GOP, sorry guys, I'm under an air conditioner, so water's falling on my hand. I blame Rev. I figured the GOP would want him to have guns, but everybody's supposed to have a gun except Hunter. So that's... did you guys see poor old what's-his-face? I hate to have... I'm a very empathetic person, care about people. Mitch McConnell, old turtleneck McConnell. That wasn't nice. I take that back. See that protecting your... Mitch McConnell, who I've never agreed with one policy he's ever had, ever about anything. Poor guy. Yesterday, he was in the hallway. He's 81, guys. The guy survived polio as a child. He's been through a lot. Plus, he has no chin. His lip is connected to his Adam's apple. That's not nice. I apologize. I have my own flaws. Very few. One of my flaws is sometimes when I sing in the shower, I sing too beautifully. That's really the only thing wrong with it. Anyway, so he's giving a little thing in the hallway, and he says, well, I just want to say that Guy's standing there 45 seconds, and I'm employing the people behind him. Guys, help him. Guy's having a stroke on television. Help him. What's the problem? Guys, I want to address the American people and say that I really, and I'm not making light of the situation. I pray he's okay. Very scary. I've never seen that happen before. Anybody seen the video? It was insane. He just stood there. No dizziness, no nothing, just standing there. And finally someone goes, sir. I hope he's okay. I pray. I hope you send your prayers out to Mitch McConnell. Did you hear about the guy on Capitol Hill yesterday? He says that we have extraterrestrial bodies. Now, I don't know who the guy is. People, just because you testify on a microphone doesn't mean you're saying anything. But he's a former Air Force officer. Now listen, there's a lot of people who were former Air Force officers who turned out to like Charlie Manson. So I don't know what his credibility is like, but he's saying it. Former Air Force officer and intelligence officials told Congress on Wednesday he believed. He didn't say he saw him. He heard it from a guy. I heard it from a friend who heard it from a friend who heard it from another. You've been messing around. Shout out to REO Speedwagon. He heard it from someone who heard it from someone that even Alex Jones says the guy's nuts. You ever watch Alex Jones? Bloody guys, they're shooting down there, and President Biden's the guy's an alien. I'm telling you right now, President Biden's an alien. If you guys want to buy this pen, it's $42 on my website. Alex Jones is one of the most repulsive people on the planet. Okay, this guy had a head full of marbles. This was one case where someone wanted to lose their marbles. The person should be fired. Doctors were shocked over the case of an Indian woman who had a bulging growth on her head that was filled with white globules, like a sack of marbles. The lady's walking around with a sack of marbles on her head. The uncommon affliction was detailed recently in a journal of radiology by doctors in Sri Lanka. The unidentified Bangalore native told doctors that the dermoid cysts had been growing on her scalp since childhood. It's like my damn nose wart. I don't know, I wasn't there in high school. Guys, I gotta be across town at 4:30. They got like 7 checks. I went down there last week to pick up, I don't know, 10 or 20 grand. I get there's 3 grand. I wanted to kill myself. She calls me today and says, oh, we found 7 more checks in the safe. I'll be there she's leaving at 4:30, so I gotta leave here at 4 to make it. So I'm sorry, guys. But sooner or later, they're gonna get Hunter Biden for that laptop. It says right here. Oh boy. On a first name basis. Called me Rob or Robert. I think one time he called me Bobby and I shot it down. But that right there, guys, is Academy Award winner Kevin Spacey. He has been cleared again This guy's the Teflon Don. He's got a Teflon Don. Jury rejects molest claims by 4 men. This guy's batting 1,000 so far. I think there's still about 8 more he's got to get through. Kevin Spacey broke down in tears after a London jury found him not guilty of committing sex offenses against 4 separate men. The 2-time Oscar winner was acquitted. 2-time! I can't say friends anymore. I despise them. But I'm acquaintances with two-time Academy Award winner and 4-time sexual predator. He was acquitted of 9 charges, including sexual assault and causing a person to engage in penetrative sexual activity. Oh boy. That has something to do with the buttocks, I'm pretty sure. He faced the possibility of life in prison if found guilty of these crimes. No wonder he's crying. After leaving court, a still emotional Kevin Spacey addressed the throng of media stating, "I imagine that many of you can understand that there's a lot for me to process. As he was getting in the car, he grabbed the crotch of a 14-year-old paper boy." Oh, I made that up. That was not fun. I apologize. There it is, folks. The crane went down in flames. It's right by my house. I was asleep. I could have been killed if I would have been out of my bed and I had went down to 10th Avenue. And I had just happened to be over there. I also could have been killed if I was in the car with JFK. You guys never thought of that, so I'm starting a GoFundMe with that too. I was actually in Texas when JFK was murdered. There's the crane. Look at that. The big ass crane way up there, caught on fire. The crane used to be, that part of it used to be up in the air, and it fell down and hit the window across the thing. These cranes, if you've never been to a big city or skyscrapers, these cranes are huge. It caught on fire. How do you put it out? I mean, here they are trying to put it out from a rooftop somewhere, and there's the Empire State Building in the background. The owner of the crane has a deadly history. This guy looks like a mobster. I didn't say that because the mob doesn't exist. But if the mob was real, and the man in control had actually hurt somebody else a couple of years back. And there's the name of my town right here. My neighborhood, Hell's Kitchen. Scare hurts 12 people. Now guys, if you live in or around the neighborhood, you're supposed to go to a doctor today and tell them that when it fell, you hurt your neck. I was laying in bed, and when I heard about it, I jerked my neck. Sir, were you jerking anything else? I refuse to answer that on the grounds I could incriminate myself, Your Honor. Officer kills store thief. Body cam video captured the moment police in Westchester County killed a man accused of stealing fruit. The man was stealing fruit. Three New Rochelle cops, that's right above the Bronx, confronted Jarrell Garris, 37, at a grocery store. "You were eating the food," one cop asked him. "He's got a gun, he's got a gun," yelled the other cop. As he appeared to place his hand on the belt of one of the officers. The detectives fired one round into his neck. He lingered in a coma for 10 days. That's horrible. I was just watching the news as I was coming over here, and there was a 3-year-old boy separated from his mom in a cornfield somewhere. I'm not sure where. It's not going to be in the paper because I think it just happened. Helicopters went up. They saw the boy. They saw the 3-year-old boy running through the corn. Guys, if you've never been to Iowa or you've never been in the cornfield, you can't see nothing. You're in the cornfield and you just see corn. Here's corn. You ain't seeing nothing. The helicopter saw him. And they were telling the people on the ground, turn left, turn left. Okay, 100 feet ahead of you. And it was really beautiful. The mother was screaming to him. He turned around and went over and hugged him. And right then, Kevin Spacey jumped in and grabbed the boy's buttocks, which I don't think was very appropriate, to be honest with you. First of all, what's Kevin Spacey doing in a cornfield in Iowa? And second of all, he does not need to be touching. It pisses me off that if it's true, I don't know. Did you see this story? It's horrific. Classic J Live, I don't know if he's in here today. He sent it to me. People send me stories. I go into my Instagram, I don't get no. I used to at least get emails from fake Russian hookers. I saw your profile, I think you're a very handsome man. Send me $40, I sent you my titties pictures. I don't even get those anymore. I get stuff. Rob H sends me stuff, Rev sends me stuff. Classic J Live sent me this video last night. It's horrific. It's a body cam of cops in Las Vegas. They're trying to get into a hotel room, one of those seedy hotel rooms. The young boy on the other side won't open the door. It's because his parents told him. The parents have both been arrested across the street at like 7-Eleven. And so they got the super to come down and tell the kid, Jimmy, open the door. Jimmy opens the door. They go in and the cops are shot. There's 2 young boys in a cage. And the dogs are running around the room, little pit bulls, and the 2 boys are in the cage. One had been beaten severely because he stole fruit from the garbage can because he was starving. He said there was 5 or 6 siblings, and the dad would buy 1 French fry and let them split it from McDonald's. He said, I'm a big boy and I need to eat. And it's insane. You can see the video. It's absolutely insane, gross, but beautiful because they rescue these young kids. And the empathy and sympathy from the police officers, they hug them kids saying, this is never going to happen to you again. You don't deserve what happened here. Travis Doss, the Las Vegas man accused of beating and locking his children in cages, bragged about his own exotic cars, spending wads of cash and pimping. I knew his girl was a hoe, a prostitute. The kids starved and lived in squalor. Doss, 31, a wannabe rapper, goes by the name of Trap Montana, used his music and social media posts to boast about spending bricks of cash and living the hustler lifestyle while his kids lived in cages. In one video, Doss handles what looks like an automatic rifle, which he strums like a guitar. The lifestyle he portrayed is far from Las Vegas Metropolitan Police found when they entered Doss's 1-bedroom extended stay apartment last month, found 2 of his children locked inside dog cages. Police also rescued 4 other children and 2 dogs left alone in the filthy apartment. A total of 6 children, ages 2 through 11, were left alone in the apartment where the dogs living in filth without food. He is facing charges of child abuse, sexual trafficking, and living off the earnings of a prostitute. According to court records viewed by the Post, his wife is charged as well. I'm not doing that. Toddler 4 grazed by a bullet in the Upper West Side. A mother whose 4-year-old son was grazed by a stray bullet during a drive-by shooting on the Upper West Side told cops she was waiting for a lift when she suddenly realized her tot was bleeding. She didn't hear the gunshot. She didn't know. You hear a lot of noises in New York. You look down, your kid's bleeding. He got shot. Praying he's okay. Okay, I want to give you a distinction, okay? Guys, what do you see here? These are not illegal aliens, folks. These are migrants trying to come here for a better life. This is a border. These are Border Patrol agents. These are people coming in, filing in, and trying to do whatever. So please, let's get that clear that not every person here is an undocumented alien coming here for a better life. Fiend terrorizes girls 6 and 9 on a Brooklyn train. Oh, I'd like to poke him in the eye with old Betsy. An unhinged man randomly attacked 2 young girls riding the subway with their family in Brooklyn Tuesday night. The 6 and 9-year-olds were on board of a southbound B or Q train nearing the 7th Avenue station when a man wearing dark clothing and pushing a shopping cart approached them. The man started acting irrationally and yelling before kicking the sisters in the head. The girls had boarded the train a stop earlier with their mother and 6-year-old brother, complained of head pain. God bless them. iPhone is a lifesaver. A man who drove off a 400-foot cliff was saved after his iPhone 14 alerted the Los Angeles Police Department. How cool is that? This device is hot, it says. By the way, it's 185 degrees out here. I put a blow dryer on, a hot blow dryer, to cool myself down. Responders received a message from his phone at 10:30 p.m. Friday informing them that he had crashed off Mount Wilson Road. The man was found less than 20 minutes later. He was ejected from the car and bleeding from his head. A 400-foot cliff. He should be very, very grateful to be alive. Scientists say this is the hottest July in the history of Earth, of all time. The coral in Florida is dying at a horrible rate. And there's hundreds of millions of little fish that live in that coral that will not have a place to live. Climate change is real. Is it cyclical? Yes, it happens. It gets hot, it cools down, but this is the hottest it's ever been. Poor Phoenix. If you live in Phoenix, you're screwed. 101 in Salt River, Arizona, right there. Kevin Butler. He's my roving. Kevin Butler was here yesterday. I flew him to Arizona. I said, Kevin, I want to know what it's like on the streets out there in Salt River. He went to Salt River and now he's saying 101. Good job, Kevin Butler. That's my roving man on the streets. Tomorrow he's going to Portland, Oregon. So that should be good. Look for Kevin Butler tomorrow in Portland, Oregon. And I'm sending Rev to Schenectady. He's going to do a live interview from a gay bathhouse. That should be something you don't want to miss. So, and he paid for his own ticket. So he was like, I want to go. So that's good news. So we'll look forward to that roving report from Rev from Schenectady. I think that's in New York. I don't know where that is. A Queens birdwatcher described to federal jury Wednesday a horrifying moment when he spotted the corpse of a teenager who was murdered by the MS-13 gang. I encountered a smell of decomposition, said Eric Miller. Miller was searching for birds. I've done this a million times. I love birding. He was searching for birds on a trail in Queens. He found a pond, and he caught a whiff of a very foul smell, which he called overwhelming. I figured it was a raccoon until he walked closer and got a better glimpse. With his binoculars, I saw a person laying face down about 20 feet away. Horrible. Here's a picture of Joe Biden staring like he wants to do something with that ice cream. It says here that 2 minutes later, Kevin Spacey came up and grabbed his buttocks. I don't know what this Kevin Spacey's up to. I don't appreciate it. 21, can you do something for me? I'm just kind of going around the dial here. Hey DJ, won't you play that song? Keep them dancing all night long. Hey DJ, won't you Buffalo Girls go around the outside? Around the outside. Rudy Giuliani. I think he might even be a bigger creep than Alex. What's his face? Giuliani has admitted he has two African American women suing him for defamation, for lying about them, for spreading rumors and innuendos that they... Do you remember these two women? They donated their time. I would never do it. I could never do it. I'm not that great a person. They donated their time to help with the election. Rudy Giuliani says the election was rigged. Got those two black ladies, they had big ass things of ballots they were throwing out. He knew it was false. He admitted yesterday it was false. He admitted he lied. They're suing him. He's being sued by everybody. I hope he goes to prison. I want him in prison more than I want Don Jr. in prison. Rudy Giuliani orchestrated the whole thing. Trump just went along for the ride. Rudy orchestrated the whole false narrative. This guy was a god in New York City after 9/11. I didn't care for his politics, but he helped us get through a very difficult time. He was called America's mayor. He is now a delusional creep, one of the biggest creeps in the history of politics. And he's had his law license taken everywhere. He's no longer allowed to be a lawyer. This guy was the district attorney, the one who put away John Gotti and the mob. Anyways, this guy was very, very intelligent. He went down the rabbit hole. He wanted those checks. He got the checks. He admitted yesterday in court that he lied about the women. Former New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani, who has admitted he made false statements about the two Georgia election officials. He accused them of rigging the 2020 election. In a court filing signed, he accused everything. There was ballots. Black people were stealing. The machines were rigged. China was involved. He had everything. Got fake electors. He did everything he could. He should do 50 years in prison. I'm not kidding. I don't want anyone to go to prison, but I wouldn't mind him going. In court file, he destroyed these women's lives. They had MAGA kicking in their door trying to kill these women. Two African American women who just went there to do their own thing. In court filing signed by Giuliani, Donald Trump's former personal lawyer. I only hire the best people. The best. Yeah. Giuliani's the best. He conceded that he does not contest the allegations made by the defamation suit brought by the women. The defendant, Giuliani, for the purposes of litigation only, does not contest that such actionable, factual statements. I'm not a vindictive person, but I would like to say nothing compares to you. Sinead O'Connor dead at 56 years old. Say what you want about Sinead O'Connor. She had an amazing voice. She dealt with horrific sexual abuse, physical, emotional abuse her whole life. Her son had died recently, I think a year or so ago. She has been admitted to the hospital several times for suicide attempts. Did you know that song was actually written by Prince? Nothing compares to you. And she did it big, and it was a #1 hit. She destroyed her career when she went on, hey, Classic J Lives in the house. I gave you credit for your story about the body cam footage from Las Vegas. Thank you for that. Sinead O'Connor was at the top of her game, absolute top of her game. She went on Saturday Night Live, and she did the song War, and it was absolutely beautiful. It was a cappella. It was Not Nothing Compares to You. And she, at the very end, she says, fight the real enemy, and she tore up a picture of the Pope. She probably didn't think it through because it absolutely destroyed her career. Pope, whether you love him or hate him, has billions of followers. Even those who are not Christian and don't follow him thought, hey, why is she tearing up a damn picture of the Pope? It destroyed her. She never could ever tour again. She was one of the biggest stars in the world. I remember at Madison Square Garden, they called her out to perform after that. Chris Christopherson said, guys, give it up for Sinead O'Connor. They gave her a standing boo. Instead of a standing ovation, she got a standing boo. And he went out and hugged her. And he said, don't let these son of a bitches tear you apart. Sinead O'Connor, dead at 56. I don't ever want to start false things. I believe it's probably going to be suicide. She's 56. Unless she had underlying health problems I don't know about. She had tried to commit suicide a couple times. Her son has died. She's had a very, very, very rough life. When she was 1985, she was 18. Her life took a tragic turn when her mom died after losing control of a car on an icy road. This has been one death after another with her, and now her son died. I just can't even imagine what she's been. Okay, I got good news. We're on page 24. Classic J Live, I finally got some good news. I was watching when this broke yesterday. Gone at 14, kid turned up. I remember this story. She went in a room, asked her mom what time her mom was going to bed. She went in a room and started playing. She was an online video gamer, 14 years old, getting ready to turn 15 in like a week or so. And she waited for her mom to go to sleep, opened the window, and ran out into the night. She didn't even notice that, Mom, I'm running away, but I'll be back soon. She didn't take any of her favorite clothes. She didn't do anything. Gone. For 4 years, her poor mother, has done everything. She's gone on these TV shows. She went bankrupt putting up billboards. Have you seen my child? A young 14-year-old runaway, bro, you know she's dead somewhere. Got to be dead somewhere. She's got to be kidnapped. She's in somewhere in Czechoslovakia turning tricks for the Russian mob. If you guys see any mobsters behind me, you always give me the heads up before. She's back, folks. She's back. She's happy. She's healthy. And she showed up last night. She walked, or 2 days ago, she walked into a police station and says, I'm her. An Arizona girl who disappeared in the night, days before her 15th birthday 4 years ago, was found. Can you imagine her mother crying for 4 years? Can you imagine her mother's joy when she walked in that door last night? My heart is just overwhelmed for her. She was several states away. Alicia Navarro, 18, walked into the police department in tiny Montana town 40 miles away. And I love this. This is a huge story. It's a national story, worldwide story. And I love the sheriff of this small Montana town. He gives a press conference and says, I want to thank all the men and women of my town who were there when she walked in. She walked in and we were there when she walked in. And we were like, you're her? And we made the appropriate calls and we are the ones. I love this guy. The guy really, really is putting on the... I want to thank all the women and men and women and myself, of course, who returned this girl. I mean, it's a big story. Small Montana town. And she falls on the national thing, falls into their lap. I got up from my desk and I called. I made a phone call. So God bless him. I'm happy for him. 40 miles from the Canadian border, and identified herself as a teen reported missing from 2019 from Glendale, Arizona. Alicia Navarro has been located, said the Glendale Public Safety Communications Manager, Jose Santiago. She is by all accounts safe. She is by all accounts happy. And by all accounts happy to be going home. The teenager, who is described as autistic but high functioning, is a missing persons report, left her Glendale home September of 2019. Hi, Mighty Bull. Her parents were asleep when she slipped out the house, found a handwritten note from her daughter stating, "I ran away, but I will be back. I swear, I'm sorry. I'll be back 4 years from now, Mom." They never heard from her again until this week. She walked into a local police station in Montana alone and asked that she be removed from the missing children's list. Navarro will soon be reunited with her mother. Kevin Spacey ran up and did not grab her, but grabbed the sheriff. That's weird. I don't know what Kevin Spacey, he's all over the place. I don't know what the hell. Mitch McConnell froze like a deer in the headlights. Senate leader Mitch McConnell spooked reporters on Wednesday. It was creepy. It was spooky. When he suddenly became silent and stone-faced during a news conference and was escorted away, returning a few minutes later to say he's fine. He even cracked a joke about it. Give him credit for having a sense of humor. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to say that we reached a bipartisan bill today, and it was creepy. I've never seen nothing like that. I don't know. I pray he's okay, but just seeing him just stop and look. No blinking. He wasn't, dizzy, or he said he got lightheaded, but it was very, 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 very strange. Back to Sinead O'Connor. The picture she tore up the Pope was very costly. At the height of her career and fame, she derailed her career with an unscripted political statement on Saturday Night Live, October 1992. I was watching when it happened, and I don't get appalled about a lot of stuff. I was watching live when it happened. I was like, what the hell is she just ripped up a picture of the Pope? I got a feeling this is going to be bad. It was bad. In her 1992 appearance on the show, she performed a cappella rendition of Bob Marley's song War, and it was heartfelt and it was gut-wrenching. The children! She was singing about the children in war. There will be no peace. And then at the very end, she says, "Fight the real enemy," and she just ripped up his picture. She was banned from Saturday Night Live. Lorne Michaels was pissed. Horrible. I'm going to get into it, but very shortly. I don't want any arguing about this, please. Okay, Ron DeSantis is in charge of Florida, whether you like it or not. That new woke thing, he's fighting back against everything. Kamala Harris is a black woman. She's speaking out against their new rules on the books that they can't teach about slavery. What they can't say it was horrific and horrible. What they can say is, this is true. You can look it up and you can read it. It's not fake news. That some slaves actually learned a pretty good trade. It was actually pretty helpful to be a slave, because you learn how to pick cotton and mop floors. And this is what should not be taught, folks. What should be taught is that 400 years ago, our country was built 400 years ago when slavery really started. It's been slaves all around the world, but let's talk about what happened in Africa, and forget about Europe and everything. America. There are American schools being taught this stuff. Went over there, kidnapped, raped, murdered, disenfranchised a whole dozens of generations of people, millions of people. Built the greatest, most powerful nation in the world. Why? Because you had 200 years of free workforce. You ain't paying nobody. You're building this huge country off the backs of others. That's what needs to be taught. Rosa Parks was just a lady who was too lazy to get up. You can't teach that stuff, bro. You just teach what I think each person, each teacher, should be able to express how they feel about what happened according to the curriculum. Don't think the curriculum should say that slavery, honestly, I mean, Kanye West said it was a choice. Slavery was a choice. It wasn't so bad. My great-great-great-great-grandpa father was a slave and he learned how to pick cotton. When he was no longer a slave, he got a job at a steel mill. You can't do that, bro. It's horrible. And anybody pushing back against that, in my opinion, is a racist. I'm sorry. Victim burned in a vat of tar. Oh my God. Speaking of slavery, many times back in the old South, they would tar and feather you. Throw hot-ass tar on your body and roll you in feathers. Horrible. Some of the most indignant, horrible things. Speaking of that, I want to shout out Emmett Till. Emmett Till was a young 12 or 13-year-old boy. He supposedly whistled at a white woman. He was beaten to death, hung, murdered. His mother had an open casket. She said, I want the whole world to see what they did to my baby. His face was a mashed potato. It was horrible. Anyways, we're having an Emmett Till memorial signed into law by Joe Biden yesterday, and I think it's wonderful. And the woman who lied admitted that she lied. Now, she died about a month ago. I piss on her grave. May you rot in hell, whore. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Take a little boy and tell him that they whistled at me and that they hung and lynched him. A woman suffered chemical burns at a Florida man dunked her head in a vat of tar and choked her at gunpoint. What a horrible man. Marshall Dimmick, 55, of Rosewood, was arrested this week after an unidentified woman told police she was tortured after she had an argument with the felon. She claims a man dunked her head into a vat of tar-like substance that is used to treat clam and oyster bags. He pointed a shotgun at her and choked her into near unconscious. That girl is on fire. Guess what? That girl is on fire. That's Alicia Keys, born and raised in this. I asked her on a date. She said no. I think her words were, I'm good. Want to have a sandwich? I'm good. Yeah. Oh boy. Bay Area. Keep an eye on the time, because I gotta pee. I gotta leave here at 4 o'clock. Naked girl shooter on the bus in Bay Area Bridge. A naked woman in California got out of her car on one of the nation's busiest bridges, it's the Bay Area Bridge, and began firing a gun Tuesday. Welcome to the Bay. The bizarre scene unfolded during rush hour on a San Francisco-Oakland. San Francisco's here, Oakland's here, the bridge connects them. The bizarre scene unfolded. The driver called 911. A driver called 911 to report that another driver had brandished a gun on them on I-80, Interstate 80, which crosses San Francisco Bay at around 4:40. The woman then stopped in the middle of the lane, got out of her car with a knife, and began yelling at other drivers. She then got back in the car and continued driving to Oakland, but stopped again at a toll plaza. Exited the car, this time with a gun and with no clothing. Officers said, Kevin Spacey ran up and said, ooh, you're yucky. I gotta be honest with you, this Kevin Spacey seems like he's all over the place. Music festival. 3 Alabama men in their early 20s have been arrested in a brutal assault of a teenager at Rock the South Music Fest that left a man unconscious with broken nose. William Vincent Jr., Chance Starling, both 20, and Zachary Taylor, 21, have been charged with second-degree assault, a felony in the attack of Reed Watts, 18. These are cowards, 3-on-1. I want to know what kind of concert it was. It says it was the, help me out, Rev. It was Rock the South Music Festival. Why do I think that Kid Rock was there? This guy was wearing a Joe Biden shirt. Don't do that. Don't go to a rock festival. Did you guys see the U.S. women's soccer team last night? They tied the game in the last second with a header. Now I had a header, but that was that. Let's do what we came to do when we came with Pisces. I'm only doing 2 today. Pisces and Capricorn, because I gotta go. This is a Boogie Bob bonus. I said Pisces, I think, and Capricorn. Pisces, you will let rivals know that you will not give in no matter how much pressure they bring to bear. And if they want to fight to the finish, that's okay with you. You guys remember when Giuliani said, let's have trial by combat? 89-year-old guy can barely walk. He's going to have trial by combat. Shut up, you old bastard. Sorry. It's okay to push hard to get a thing. And by the way, he didn't trial nothing. Remember when the guy went up and did this at Dunkin' Donuts and he fell on the ground? I was almost killed. The guy knocked the wind out of me, touched my back. And now he's going to start an insurrection and yell, let's have trial by combat. What combat are you going to do, Pops? It's okay to push hard to get, was it nice? I apologize. To get things done, but be careful you don't turn people against you. I just turned half of my audience against me. Use your authority to get projects moving at a good pace while also using your unique sense of humor to keep your team members smiling. That's what you're supposed to do. We're going to do birthdays very quickly because when I was growing up in Waco, Texas, I'm from Waco, Texas. I never dreamed that I'd be a huge superstar with 50 whole people watching. Today's birthdays, I will not be wishing happy birthday to Tory Lane. Tory Lane is a rapper from Canada. He's also a piece of shit who shot Meg the Stallion. He's a tough gangster rapper. He's a good-ass rapper. He's 5'2", little tiny guy. So he's got to compensate by carrying a gun. He shot Meg the Stallion in the foot. Bria, get off my live, girl. You know I'm on live. What the hell's wrong with Bria? Tory Lane's 31 today. You ain't getting no happy birthday from me. Triple H. Hunter Hearst Helmsley is 54 today. He's born Paul Michael Levesque. He became known as Hunter Helmsley or Triple H. He became the world champion. He was then he did something that a lot of people weren't smart enough to do. He married the owner, Vince McMahon's daughter, Stephanie. And now he's the vice president of the corporation. Winnie Harlow. Oh, I love me some Winnie Harlow. Winnie Harlow has a thing called vitiligo. It is where she is a black woman, but she has some of her pigmentation is not there. So you can see she has white blotches all over. She was called a cow, like a black and white cow, all her life. Now she's a huge supermodel, one of the most popular models on the planet, and I shout her out. She's dope. Young Dolph was actually murdered last year. Young Dolph, happy birthday, Playboy, but Young Dolph was actually shot like 20 times and killed. I hear somebody screaming over here. Dolph Ziggler, another wrestler. Alex Rodriguez, A-Rod. Now I had A-Rod, but that was in college. A-Rod, in my opinion, one of the greatest baseball players of all time. Of course, he was brought down in the steroid thing. 500 home runs. I mean, Hall of Fame numbers. Whether he gets in the Hall of Fame, I'm not sure. He won 3 American League MVP awards. That's hard to do. Over 500 home runs. He was signed to Seattle. He signed, back in the day, a $252 million. Yeah, he had hemorrhoids. Rev said he had hemorrhoids. He was caught up in the hemorrhoid scandal. Maya Rudolph, one of the funniest women to ever be on Saturday Night Live. I love her. Happy birthday, Maya. She is 51 years young. You guys like Taylor Swift? It's her cousin's next door neighbor Tim's birthday. So happy birthday to her cousins next door. Norman Lear, wow. What a TV career he had. Huge producer. 101 years old. He's still alive. 101. Look at this. Come on. He's probably still getting more action than I get. He did All in the Family, Sanford and Son, The Jeffersons. What a career he had. He also directed some movies. Okay, that's it for that, and then we'll go into deaths. We do not celebrate their deaths, unless it's Hitler. I have my Hitler death party every year. I remember I had a lot of my friends from high school block me on Facebook when they killed Saddam Hussein. They hung him, and everybody was cheering him. And I said, I made the mistake, being honest, I said, I'm not going to cheer anybody getting hung. All these douchebags from my past high school years. What? You're a horrible person, man. He almost had something to do with 9/11, but he was a bad person. You should be cheering like we do. I really don't cheer anybody getting killed, any death. Not my life to give or take. One of the greatest of all time, Bob Hope. My father actually saw him in Vietnam twice. Bob Hope would go over and entertain the troops. He did 57 USO tours, 57 tours from 1942 to 1991. Can you imagine? Huge superstar, one of the all-time greats. Tony Dow. Anybody know who Tony Dow is? Gee, Wally. Gee willikers, Wally. Mom says if you smoke, you'll get cancer. Cindy Brown Ocean's in the house. Everybody stop what you're doing. Look at Cindy Brown Ocean. I would tell you to subscribe to her channel, but she doesn't like people. She doesn't care if you do or not. Man, she's fine though. She's pretty fine. She's the only person in my company besides me that cares about my company. Thank you, Cindy, for all you do. When I had Chicago on lock, I would call up, God bless you, Mighty Bull. You better stop it. You better stop it. But I appreciate it. Any donations that ever come into the channel, not one penny has ever gone to me. It goes to help those in need, and I appreciate that. And I will take care of them ASAP today. Thank you so much. When I was running Chicago, had all my accounts in Chicago. Call Cindy. Cindy, man, we got a huge party. Can you come? Boop, she's on the plane. One time, she came to Chicago, stayed, worked like 3 doubles, and then when I was leaving back to New York, I run into her at the airport. I go, where you going? She goes, I'm going to Jamaica. And I think she's single, guys. I don't know. But you better make a lot of cash if you're going to date Cindy Brown Ocean. Dusty Hill. Dusty Hill was one of the guys. Sounds like a porno name. One of the guys from ZZ Top. He's a Taurus. He's a mighty bull. The bassist and vocalist with the rock band ZZ Top. Everybody's talking about a sharp-dressed man. God bless him. Dusty Hill. It's funny because he has a big-ass beard, and then the other dude, what's his face, has a big-ass beard. And then the drummer has no beard, but the drummer's last name was Beard. How crazy is that? That's a fact. God bless you. I don't know. What am I doing? I'm writing a new blues song. I saw one of my old clips where I was trying to pretend I was playing a harmonica. And I made a blues song on the spot, but it says, I told her she loved her. I told her I love her. She says, I love you too. I said, let me hold some money till my paycheck comes through. And she sent me $50. I never called that girl again. That's right. I said she sent me $50 and I spent it on her best friend. I called her mama. Called her on the telephone. beginning's work, but it's going to be pretty good. I started dating. I borrowed $50 from a girl, never called her back. Spent the money on her best friend, then started dating her mama. I'm a bad person. That's all we got today, guys. I got to go to Dream Hotel and pick up some Kiss Ash. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Special shout out to Cindy Brown Ocean. She's a celebrity. You guys, fellas, go to her Instagram. She's a bad one, son. She's a bad one. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I thank you, Mighty Bull, for watching out for the homeless. I ask everyone to please be kind and loving to each other. Be good to yourself. And let's talk again real soon. God bless you. Thank you. She gave me $50. I never called that girl again.